There is a version of you that didn't grow quieter by accident. It didn't decide to hold back because it lacked confidence or courage. It learned to stay quiet because, at some point, that worked. Not dramatically, not all at once, just often enough to matter. You noticed that speaking up didn't always lead to understanding, that expressing needs created tension, that being fully present sometimes made things worse instead of better. So you adjusted. You started to say less. You listened more. You filtered your reactions. Over time, silence stopped being something you did and became something you were good at. This version of you is competent, observant, controlled. It knows how to keep things stable. It knows how to avoid unnecessary friction. And in many environments, that gets rewarded. People describe you as calm, easygoing, mature. But what they don't see is the effort behind it. The constant self-monitoring, the habit of checking the room before checking yourself, the way expression gets delayed or edited until it feels safe enough to release. This isn't weakness, it's adaptation, and adaptations stick when they work. The problem isn't that this version exists. The problem is that it keeps running even when it's no longer needed. Silence might have protected you earlier, but later it often shows up as distance. You may feel disconnected in relationships without knowing why. You might struggle to explain what you want even to people who care about you. You can think clearly, analyze deeply, and still feel strangely removed from your own life. This happens because the habit of staying quiet doesn't turn off automatically. It becomes the default response to anything emotionally charged. When something matters, the system that once kept you safe steps in and says, "Don't push, don't complicate things, don't make it heavier." So feelings get contained instead of expressed. Needs get minimized. Conflicts get avoided rather than addressed. From the outside, you look composed. From the inside, you feel held back. Not overwhelmed, just restrained. Like you're present, but never fully stepping forward. Over time, this creates numbness. Not because you don't feel, but because you've learned not to act on what you feel. The result isn't dramatic suffering, it's a quiet dissatisfaction that's hard to name. Most advice fails here because it treats silence as a flaw to fix. It tells you to be more open, more expressive, more vulnerable. But that approach usually backfires. The part of you that learned to stay quiet hears that as risk. It associates expression with instability, so it resists, often without you noticing. Real change starts with recognition, not force. You begin by noticing when the quiet version takes control. The moment you downplay something important, the instant you feel the urge to smooth things over instead of saying what's true. These are not mistakes, they are signals. And once you see them, you gain leverage. You don't need to say everything, you don't need to explain yourself fully, you just need to allow one honest sentence through when it matters. One moment where you don't optimize for comfort. Over time, this teaches your system something new. Expression doesn't always lead to loss. The goal isn't to become loud or emotionally exposed. The goal is choice. To stay quiet because you want to, not because you're afraid of what happens if you don't. And here's the most useful shift you can take with you. When you notice yourself pulling back, stop asking what's wrong with you. Ask what silence once helped you avoid. That question turns judgment into understanding, and understanding is what loosens patterns that force never could.